The advanced exponential decay example is going to be about depreciation. This is just a fancy word for losing value over time. Our example is going to be, suppose you buy a new car for $35,000. Every year, your car loses 15% of its current value. Question A, how much will the car be worth in 2 years? And B, when will the car be worth $10,000? Once again, before we get started, we're going to identify our important values. We have $35,000 as a start value. We're going to lose 15%. That's our rate of decay. And this is a year. Again, our time is 1 year. All right. So we'll identify these down here. We have A, B, and X. A is 35,000. B is 15%, which will be 0.15 as a decimal, or 3/20 as a fraction. We will use the decimal version again because that is going to be more useful and easier to use. And X is our time period is 1 year. Right? Whatever value X is, that's in years. Starting with question A. How much will the car be worth in 2 years? All right. That means replace X with 2. We forgot to write down our rules, so here those are. We have our rules using our important values. We have y equals 35,000 times 1 minus 0.15 with an exponent of x. We will rewrite that by doing the subtraction as y equals 35,000 times 0.85 to the power of x. The now next rule will be next equals now times 0.85 starting at 35,000. Right, so now we have our rules. Let's go back to question A, which tells us to replace x in our function with 2. So we'll rewrite that. We have 35,000 times 0.85 with an exponent of 2. When we put this through our calculator, we'll get a value of 25,287.50, which means the value of the car will be $25,287.50. Remember, when we deal with money, we always have 2 decimal places because that's dollars and cents. Next, let's answer question B over here. When will the car be worth $10,000? This is asking us to determine what value of x will result in y equaling 10,000. So if we set that up as our equation, using, again, our function rule. That's solving 35,000 times 0.85 to the x equals 10,000. I need to figure out what number I can put in here. How many years will it take till the value of my car is $10,000? Okay, so again, as our previous example, we will guess and check. That's the best strategy we have right now without learning new math. Okay, when we put this in our calculator, the first number that I decided to try was 7. Right, we did 2. That's not really close, so I'm kind of making a bigger jump. All right, so we have 35,000 times 0.85 with an exponent value of 7. And that gave me a value of 11,220 and 20 cents. So I got 20 cents after rounding from it was 0.196 something. So that told me to round up to 0.20. All right, so 7 is too high. So we'll go to 8. We have 35,000 times 0.85. An exponent of 8, which means 8 years. When we put that through the calculator, I got 9,537 and 17 cents. All right, this is a little less than 10,000, but it takes the 8th year to get to 10,000. All right, so when it's asking when will the car be worth $10,000, it's going to take 8 years. So the answer is 8 years. If you have any questions, please make sure to email me or post into the discussion board for questions on exponential functions. We'll see you guys soon.